Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hi, this is Erica Schultz, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Hello, kids. Welcome back to another episode of Marvel Tales, the show about everything Marvel and Marvel Comics. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, that fantastic co-host himself. It is
Justin the Owl swooping into the Baxter building this time.
That's right, kids. We're going to talk some Fantastic Four and a big story about a certain Skrull.
Yeah.
A secret invasion, if you will.
On multiple levels.
Oh, God. Look who's in the room already.
Oh,
Ring. Hello, Russell.
Hi, Russell.
Check out Sorry and Petty episode 23 for that.
Yes.
I told Lilith, I said Friday at work, I had a problem with a certain part at work. Guess what it was? An O-ring. Literally, it said O-ring on it. I'm like, I should have taken a picture and sent it to you guys. I'm like, oh. It was the day after our conversation. I'm like, son of a. It's like Russell.
What are the odds?
Russell calling out the future or something.
Yeah. What are the odds of that happening? I love it.
Should be like. I should be the joke. Be like, Russell's O-ring. All right. All right, kids. So, yes, we are talking today some Fantastic Four. Like we said, 265 by Mr. John Byrne. And then kind of ties into Fantastic Four 358 and 359 by Mr. Tom DeFalco, which you'll see how.
Yes. It's a very, very cool way. And these were your picks, Phil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading these brand new, and I was just like, you kind of knew what they were trying to get rid of a certain marriage. No, not Spider-Man. They were trying to get rid of a certain marriage. But I'm like, and when you like the point the Falco picks, which is this Burnish. I mean, we're gonna get into this, but I'm just like, it works. It works so well, almost like they planned it that way. But it
totally works.
They didn't.
Yeah. That's why when the issue 358 happened, the big reveal, I was like, oh, actually, you know what? That totally works. This isn't just like kind of shoehorned in there.
Oh yeah,
it does make sense.
Yeah, they picked like a good point. It wasn't just like a random one day we just did the thing. It's like no, they picked the point.
Yeah, and it was how many years separated them, these two issues?
Oh man, I think the second ones were from 91. The first one was around Secret Wars. So God, what was
so 84 to 91? Yeah, so that's a considerable amount of time.
It's like 7 years, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it.
I know. Yeah, should we jump into this so we can discuss? I mean, we'll discuss the situation.
Yeah, let's talk about the 265.
All right, so yes, kids, pay attention to this 265 because it will be brought back up. And again, but I love Byrne's art, but I mean, this cover is like I like this I've always liked this cover.
Me too. Yeah.
Which I wasn't reading new then, so I kind of knew this the shocking new member of the Fantastic Four. But I'm like that's a pretty cool cover.
Yeah. It's definitely a John Byrne cover for sure.
Oh yeah. I love Reed Richards introducing the newest member of the Fantastic Four. Oh my, is the world ready for this? Johnny with that smirk on his face. Maybe not, but I sure am.
Oh, Johnny.
All right, so yeah, they have this kind of a split up into two little like stories. So, and again, the first story, I mean, this could have gone horribly wrong, but it actually was entertaining because. All right, so the first story, the house that Reed built. Oh God, somebody got paid for this. Writer, penciler, and inker John Byrne. Colorist Glennis Ween, letterer Michael Higgins, and editors Bob Budiansky and Michael Higgins. Trying to prove himself as a solo villain again, the Trapster attempts to break into the Baxter building. Floating down to the roof of the world-famous headquarters of the Fantastic Four by parachute, the Trapster's devices indicate that the scanners within the building have not detected his presence. When he lands, the security cameras begin to rise out of the floor, but he quickly blinds them with his paste gun.
Paste, quote unquote.
Yeah, I know. Man, he cleans that thing a lot, kids. Well, you have to. Every time he cleans it, it goes off.
Not again.
Oh, oopsie. Using a device to hack into the roof hatch mechanisms, the Trapster breaches the entrance and enters the building. He appears in the hangar room, and as he begins scoping out the area, he is unaware that the computers within the Baxter building have scanned him and determined his identity. The computers mark him as a threat and begin tracking him as he makes his way through the Baxter building. The Trapster then tries to access the elevators in the building, but find that they will not operate. Unlocking the door to the stairs, the villain continues his descent into the heart of the Baxter building. Becoming edgy from the constant silence, the Trapster almost shoots at his reflection when he catches it in a window, but continues his progress. As he continues his progress, the Baxter building's computer systems continue to scan, detecting his paste gun as a weapon and initiating protocols to jam the weapon to prevent it from being used. When he reaches the door to Reed's lab, the Trapster is jolted with electricity when he tries to open it. Deciding to try and use his paste gun, he is shocked to find that it is no longer working. Making a run for it, the Trapster enters the residential area of the Fantastic Four's headquarters. There he is confronted by the robot Hubert, who tells him that he is trespassing. Trying to make a break for it, the Trapster then slips on one of Franklin's toy cars. In a blind panic, the Trapster makes it to an elevator that actually works. It takes him down to the reception area of the Fantastic Four's headquarters, where he is greeted by Roberta. Unaware that she is really a robot, the Trapster tries to grab her, but she easily throws him to the floor. As the Trapster begins to black out from his impact with the floor, Roberta puts a call into the authorities to pick him up. Oh my god, I love this story. He's such a, I love the Reed Richards security system is just effing with him. It's just like,
Yeah.
let him go. Let's see what it does.
Wow, he actually made it to Roberta.
I know, but wait, that was intentional, so you could just like flip him. It's just like,
so funny.
Like, come here, woman. And she's like, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, sure.
I love it, but he's such a moron. He's like, really? I mean, you really think you're gonna break into like the headquarters of the world's smartest man and you're undetected? Okay.
Yeah, by parachuting in. Yeah, and I love how a lot of it is from his point of view too. I love that. That's so great.
Oh yeah, a lot of it is like his silent, but I mean, most of the dialogue we get in the story is his inner monologue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but like it's from his perspective, from his point of view. Yeah, like he's got a camera on. Yeah, I love that. Like he's recording his break into the Baxter building. Yeah, don't release that on YouTube, Trapster. Whatever.
There are so many continuity notes on this thing because it's like and when people go back to like not only the issues we're doing tonight, but like there's other like stuff like people like setting stuff around like this time frame. I don't know if it's a Secret Wars or what, because it's like
yeah, you're right. There's a lot of stuff that
the Trapster appears here between his appearance in Captain America 319. He developed weapons for Diamondback and Marvel 1985 number 5, where the Trapster and other villains were briefly transported to Earth 1219 by Clyde Weicham Jr.
What was that?
That was some series. I don't think I read that. We might have to read that, but it was like some miniseries. But I think it was that from the 2000s, I think. But I think it was set in this era. So
oh, okay,
yeah. But like I haven't read it either. So, but I remember hearing about it. I think that's the Trapster mentions how he broke into the Baxter building while posing as Spider-Man. That happened in Fantastic Four 218.
I remember the Captain America appearance. It was him, I think, in Whirlwind. in that issue of
Oh,
Captain.
maybe. Yeah. Oh, they got it wrong. Yeah, because that might have
I
been
think.
318. That might be wrong here because 319 was the Scourge one, and it was Scourge gunning all down all those villains.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong then, because maybe he actually maybe he was one of the ones that made it out of
Or
that.
no, you know what it was? It was weird. It was in a flashback, and then if it is the flashback I'm thinking of, they showed a guy like making Diamondback her diamonds, and I always thought I'm like that looks like the Trapster, but it probably
Oh,
isn't. But it might be. I think it might be.
yeah. Yeah, no, actually, yes. No, I'm wrong about that. That makes sense because he was popping up a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then when the computer was scanning the Trapster, it identified him also as Paste Pot Pete.
Paste Pod Pete.
The
Yeah.
Trapster originally went by this name when he first became a supervillain in Strange Tales 103. The Trapster stopped using this name in Fantastic Four 38, but has never lived it down.
Yeah. 38 as well. It took 38 issues for him to stop using the name. Let that one sink in. Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I like too how in the scan it had the other members of the Frightful Four listed them out underneath as well. That was a nice little detail.
Yes, because the Frightful Four first appeared in Fantastic Four 36. It mentions the Wizard, the Sandman, Medusa was a member for a while. Thundra,
Lyra.
Electro, Lyra. Yeah. Oh, and then later on they would add more in when people would do flashback tales, but again, those hadn't been written yet, so they weren't mentioned. Oh, Hubert is seen here between his appearances in Fantastic Four 257 and Amazing Spider-Man 258, which for those of you who don't remember, that's when Spider-Man goes for Reed Richards to examine his new costume he got on Battle World, and
yes,
that's where we find out it's alive.
I love Hubert too. So
oh
cool.
yeah. All right, so I think that's all the notes on that one. I don't know. Any other thoughts on the Trapster, or should we get to the second story?
No, just that I love it. I love this
story
so much.
Yeah. Again, the Trapster really has nothing to do with the theme today, kids. But it was just funny.
Yeah, it's just a nice diversion.
His ass got his ass handed to him by a security system.
Yeah. I wonder too, whatever happened to Roberta? I don't remember.
I don't know. I mean,
whatever happened with
I
her.
remember there was a few stories where she showed up later on, but
yeah, I don't. I was
she,
trying to remember after rereading this. I was like, whatever happened to Roberta? I don't remember.
unless she gets destroyed, because doesn't the Baxter building gets destroyed eventually? I know, I believe she shows up in Fort Freedom's Plaza, but then that gets destroyed. I think getting back the Baxter building. So I don't know. I don't know if people just
one of the
Baxter. Yeah, one of the many times the building's been destroyed. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
All right. So the second story, which will play into our theme here, Home Are the Heroes. Which shows everyone returning from Battle World. All right, so again, right? Oh yes, same team. So yeah, Burns writing, penciling, and inking this. Where's this? All right, at Avengers Mansion, it says the incredibly pregnant Sue Richards is checking on a meal being prepared by Edwin Jarvis, the Avengers butler, much to the horror of Jarvis himself. And again, kids, I love this. I love when they're in the mansion. Again, I hate the stupid tower, the dead celestial, and put them in a mansion.
And even Hydro Base, it was like, no, just keep them in the mansion. Yeah,
I'd say Hydro Base was my number 2 choice, but yes, I want the mansion in the middle of New York City.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes the most sense.
Jarvis tells Sue to please not tamper with his cooking, as the dish he is preparing is incredibly delicate.
Oh, Jarvis.
I know. Sue leaves the kitchen and reflects on how tense things are. Thinking back to sometime earlier when she saw Reed, Johnny, and Ben go off to investigate a strange energy reading in Central Park, when suddenly they vanished in a strange flash of light that was also seen by Alicia Masters, even though she is blind. Oh yeah, that Beyonder was radiating some power. A blind woman saw this flash. I remember like the Spider-Man issues leading up to it. Spider-Man spider sense almost like his head almost exploded. His sense
Yeah.
buzzing so bad.
Yeah.
Realizing that Alicia is scared, especially after getting out of the hospital following her attack by a nihilist, the two take the spare Fantasticar to investigate the situation. When they arrive in Central Park, Sue spots a massive construct that suddenly vanishes upon their arrival. Landing the Fantasticar, Sue spots the Vision, Mockingbird, Star Fox, and the Scarlet Witch of the Avengers, who had also come to investigate the situation. Based on the Vision scans, he has come to the conclusion that some force has kidnapped the other members of the Fantastic Four and members of the Avengers and taken them to somewhere off the planet. Duh.
Imagine that.
I love how we take all these scans to figure that out. I could have made an educated guess on that.
Right. 15 minutes tops.
I know. With her recollection over, Sue is greeted by Alicia, who has just arrived with Franklin. Sue agrees to take Franklin out for a treat. On their way out, they bump into Mockingbird, who expresses her growing concern over the disappearance of her husband and the others. Later, after Sue and Alicia get Franklin some ice cream, they are walking in Central Park when Sue notices a bright glow from behind some trees. They don't mention it in the synopsis, but this time Alicia doesn't seem to notice the light, the flash of light.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said, this wasn't planned, but I mean, this works perfectly.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of dialogue here between Alicia and Sue where Alicia says, "I'm fine, thank you, Susan. I just have a funny sensation in the back of my mind, as if something absolutely momentous is going to happen today."
Or something momentous did happen.
Yes, earlier in Alicia's apartment.
I know.
Ooh.
Turning invisible, she rushes out to see what is going on. As she reaches the clearing, she spots Iron Man flying away from the area. Suddenly, there's another flash of energy revealing Reed, Johnny, and the She-Hulk. Much to Sue's surprise, She-Hulk is wearing a Fantastic Four uniform. Sue, Franklin, and Alicia are then reunited with Johnny and Reed. When Alicia asks where Ben is, Johnny is about to tell her when Sue suddenly shrieks in pain as her body begins to painfully discharge radiation. Reed rushes to the aid of his wife, who tells him the sudden pain was caused by the baby. With no time to lose, She-Hulk carries Sue while Johnny is sent ahead to Mercy General Hospital to warn them of their impending arrival. So, yeah, I know. Well, Reed's about to pick her up, and She-Hulk's like, no. She's like, I was built for this. It's basically Endgame. I was built for this, pretty much. Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if this is why DeFalco picked this story, but it works so perfectly because there does seem to be a shift between Alicia in the beginning of this and the end of this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it wasn't mentioned at all that suddenly she didn't notice the flash of light the second time around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess since so much time had elapsed, they just let it drop. But it's like Alicia really needed to get like maybe some psychological help because one, I mean, she's already traumatized by what happened with the nihilist, a couple months back, and then what we're about to discuss happens. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah. Poor Alicia. Good. She needs to go in that stasis pod for a little while.
I know.
This is good.
But it's just like she's afraid. Oh, I don't blame her.
Yeah. Could you? I'm glad they had that callback to the nihilist story actually, because that was one of the very first like Marvel comic stories that I remember reading as a child. It was a crossover between Fantastic Four and Avengers, actually. Yeah. And I loved that. It was such a cool story. And Annihilus was so nasty in it. I was like, oh, wow, this is a great villain here. But yeah, he did a number on Alicia. He did a number on Franklin. Like,
oh, yeah. Like he tortured Alicia. Yeah.
Yeah. He put the boots to so many people in that story. It was crazy. But I liked that they had that little callback too, because Alicia would definitely not want to be alone for a while after that incident.
Oh, no. Yeah. No. Yeah. And again, this story just works so perfectly. I guess I don't know if that's the why DeFalco picked it, but like her noticing the flash of light in the beginning, but then when they come back, no notice of the flash of lights, or
Yeah, and then
And
her little comment about something momentous is going to happen today.
and maybe just like she's supposed to just be more relaxed, but in the second half of the story, she seems much calmer and more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's so crazy that 7 years were between these issues, and they pulled that off.
it's not even like
I
the
love
same writer, even. Yeah.
right. Same or the same editors.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
Although,
quite an accomplishment, I think.
I mean, not like Tom DeFalco wasn't working in the business at this point. So
True. Yeah, yeah. I think he was actually maybe he was writing or editing some other things at the time.
yeah. And again, I guess if you have to pick a point before Johnny and Alicia get together, it's like, well, this is a good, this is a very,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
absolutely. Yeah,
Everyone's distracted and
yeah. And Ben's gone. He's out of the
Mhm.
picture. He's off doing his own thing for a while.
Oh yeah, because I'm looking at the notes here. Yeah, because I guess in the thing issues 2 through 9, Alicia had been recovering in the hospital, so it's not like something where she just
Mhm.
like got up and walked away. Yeah, no,
Right. Yeah.
we have to cover it. We should cover that too some point. Yeah,
Yeah. I'd love to cover some of those thing issues.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like no, but that those and that Fantastic Four story, that the Annihilus stuff we were just talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
the crossover with the Avengers?
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go revisit that.
It's basically long story short, kids. Yeah, yeah. Fantastic Four get trapped, in the negative zone, and Annihilus
Mhm.
makes it to Earth, and just like you said, just torturing Alicia, messing with Franklin, and
Yeah, it puts a dome around the whole Baxter building that the Avengers can't get through, and
yep.
yeah, it's a great story.
Let's see. So yeah, this was this was them coming back from the first Secret Wars.
And I forget, how long were they gone from the first flash of light to the second?
I think it
How
was a
much time?
week. I think it was a
Was it a
week.
week?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
because from this and like even like the Spider-Man, I remember when the Spider-Man came back. I think it was like a week. Yeah.
Mhm. I couldn't remember how long. Yeah. Mm.
So that was, I mean, I wasn't reading at the time, but that's gonna be interesting. Where it's like, yeah, like it's like 1 month they disappear, the next issue they all come back, and it's like for like the next year they're like, oh, you want to find out what happened? Yeah, read 12 issues of Secret Wars
Right.
because it's like Spider-Man comes back with a different costume, She-Hulk's on the Fantastic Four now.
Yeah. The thing is gone.
Yes,
He's
the thing is gone.
he's off on another world doing his own thing.
Iron,
Yeah.
Iron Man, I think it might have only been an issue, but like had modifications to his armor because it wasn't even Tony
Mm,
Stark. That was Jim Rhodes.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if the Avengers had any big. I don't think any huge changes except She-Hulk wasn't there, but
Mm, I don't think so.
mm-mm.
I think they were largely unaffected.
Yeah.
Same thing with most of the X characters, the X-Men.
Mm. Iron Man's appearance here is between his departure from Battle World and Avengers 243 and his appearance in West Coast Avengers #4.
Silver Centurion armor.
No, I think it what no. I think they're talking about that first miniseries. So I think that was still Rhodey, but
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah, this is just before that.
yeah. Oh yeah, Thing's adventures on Battle World were from Thing after they all leave from Thing 11 to 22. So
Yeah, that was almost a year, wasn't it?
pretty
Yeah,
much
he
a
was
year.
gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, we could cover some of that stuff sometime too. That would be
Oh
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
bunch of Fantastic Four and Thing stuff. I mean, I've been reading some old just a couple I picked up. Marvel 2-in-1, the
2-in-1s,
Thing team up
yeah.
book. Yeah, we should cover some
Which
of
was
that.
kind of his unofficially his first title.
Yeah,
His first solo title.
his team up book. You see, he was popular back then. It was Spider-Man had a team up book. Ben Grimm had a team up book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then of course in this issue they also planted that full page ad for Secret Wars.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. I love that, the first Secret Wars. My
Oh
goodness.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was when I first started reading comics, was right around this time period. And so that was I was into that. And yeah, that issue, I'll still never forget that issue with Doctor Doom when he got the power of the Beyonder. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about it. Like when I started collecting, I started picking up back issues, and I got a bunch of the Secret Wars issues. But I remember trying to find number 8 with the Spider-Man costume. I was like, no, I need to find that. Of course, I'm not going to find that for unless you're going to pay an arm and a leg.
Yeah, unfortunately, mine is disintegrated. But
oh wait, you have the actual issue?
I used to have it, but this is back in the day when I was a young kid and didn't take good care of my comics. And
yeah, you just like stick them in your closet or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I never had that issue. I had, like I said, I had some of the other ones, and then I just got the whole thing in a trade. So I got to read it, but I never put my hands on one. That's the first chronological appearance of that black suit, kids. The first actual appearance was Amazing Spider-Man 252, because that came out before they got to that point in Secret Wars.
Right.
Everyone's always like, oh, everyone's like, yeah, Secret Wars was the first appearance. Everyone's like, no, it's Amazing.
No. The timing was a little off with that one.
Well, again, they were really teasing that Secret War. They're like, oh, you want to find out where this thing came from?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember that issue with Spider-Man, because they were really teasing that, because I remember him, he's like developing pictures. He's like, there are times I thought we were never going to get back. He's like that time Galactus almost stepped on me. And like, what? Galactus almost stepped on
Galactus?
Me? Yeah, exactly.
That was some shrewd advertising on their part.
So I think I read that before I ever read Secret Wars. Then once I read Secret Wars, I'm like, oh, there it is. There he almost got stepped on. All right. Should we get to the next two issues?
Yeah, 358. Let's jump ahead 7 years.
All right. So this first one was April 1984. So we're going to jump to Fantastic Four 358 from November 1991.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a little over 7 years. Whatever happened to Alicia? Writer Tom DeFalco, penciler Paul Ryan, inker Danny Belandi, colorist Christy Sheely, letterer Bill Oakley, and editor Ralph Macchio. Scrolling. All right. The Fantastic Four, again, coming off last issue's cliffhanger, have discovered that the woman they thought was Alicia Masters was actually been a Skrull spy. Secret invasion, indeed.
Yes.
I wonder if they're going to give us the kind of moment in Secret Invasion where it's like, you think they'll go that big where they're like, oh yeah, hey, this MCU character you guys have been following for how long now? They're a Skrull.
Well, I kind of wondered if they were going to do that with Natasha.
Oh, yeah. They kind of did that with Mockingbird. Yeah. In the comics. Yeah.
Right. And have that be that situation. Have her return to the MCU and be like, but then I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not going to do
that. Yeah. I'm trying to think who would be a good Skrull spy. What if it was Tony Stark?
That would be hilarious.
Would that cheapen that death?
The greatest hero of all was a Skrull secret agent. Sacrificed his life to defeat Thanos.
Oh my. I mean, some of those Skrull, in the Secret Invasion comic, they were so deep cover. They even remember they were Skrulls until they got activated.
Yeah. They're like Manchurian Candidate characters.
Unless they do the comics route and like Hank Pym was a Skrull.
Ooh, yeah. That would be cool.
Oh yeah. All right, so yes, they find out Alicia Masters was actually been a Skrull spy. Furious at this deception, the Human Torch lashes out, demanding to the Skrull imposter to tell him what happened to his wife. Reed tries to pull Johnny back before he can harm their captive, but he burns his hands because Johnny refuses to flame off. When the Torch takes another charge at the Skrull spy, Sue envelops him in an invisible force field. When he uses his Nova Flame to try and free himself, he only succeeds in burning out all his oxygen, snuffing out his flame and knocking him out. Quickly coming around, Johnny is checked on by his teammates to make sure he is okay. Johnny is fine and has likewise regained some composure over the current situation and apologizes for lashing out earlier. With Johnny's outburst out of the way, Reed demands that the Skrull woman explain herself. The Skrull introduces herself as Lyja, telling them that her presence among them was a result of years of planning on the behalf of the Skrull High Command. She recounts back to when her commanding officer, Commander Calamari, called a meeting among his command to discuss a means of destroying the Fantastic Four. When it was suggested that they create another Super Skrull, Calamari rejects the idea as the process is too cost prohibitive.
We ain't got the money for that.
Too many Skrull dollars. Then a suggestion is made by Pybok, who suggests they use their natural shape-shifting abilities and subterfuge to replace someone close to the Fantastic Four in order to spy on the group. When Calamari likes this idea, Pybok suggests that they select a female Skrull to take the place of the Thing's then-girlfriend, Alicia Masters. Pybok then gathered a group of suitable candidates and eventually selected Lyja, either due to or in spite of a past relationship between the two. Lyja was then placed on a rigorous training session to learn everything she could about Alicia Masters in order to flawlessly replace her without anyone noticing. To complete the charade, Lyja was also fitted with special contact lenses that rendered her blind and trained her how to get by with her other senses. When she was ready, she was brought into Earth's orbit to wait for the right moment to strike. That moment came when Johnny, Ben, and Reed, here we go, kids, were kidnapped by the Beyonder to take part in the secret wars. The Skrulls then attacked Alicia at her home and gassed her, allowing Alicia to take her place, or allowing Lyja to take her place. However, when the Fantastic Four returned from Battle World, it was without the Thing, who decided to stay behind and selected the She-Hulk as his successor. In order to maintain a close connection with the Fantastic Four, Lyja then began seducing Johnny and forging a relationship with him. However, her infiltration was almost too good, as Lyja soon found herself legitimately falling in love with Johnny in spite of herself. Even with the explosive return of the Thing, which led to a brief argument over Alicia, quote unquote, and Johnny's relationship, Lyja continued the charade for months. Eventually, she and Johnny were married in the normal-sized Fantastic Four 300.
Just a regular issue.
I know, regular size.
Yeah.
Having heard enough, Johnny calls Lyja a liar, not willing to believe that this Skrull was his wife. Lyja insists that it's all true and that she is pregnant with Johnny's child. This comes as a shock to Johnny, and later he spends some time alone on the roof of the Four Freedoms Plaza to mourn over the situation. He is soon joined by Ben to provide his support, telling Johnny that they're all there for him. Meanwhile, down below, Reed is preparing a new spacecraft to mount a rescue mission to recover the real Alicia Masters from the Skrulls. Sue comes to check on her husband, and he confides in her his frustration at being so easily fooled and how he should have been prepared. This all gets him thinking about the initial space flight that led to the birth of the Fantastic Four, because I think this was some anniversary issue, because it was like an oversized issue.
Yeah, I think it was the 30th anniversary issue.
I think so, yeah, because I have this, yeah.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Recounting how a combination of cosmic rays and abnormal sunspot activity would cause their ship to crash or for the group to mutate the way they did. Although it did lead to the birth of the Fantastic Four, Reed tells his wife that since then he has been steadfast in not allowing carelessness to affect their lives. Changing the subject back to Lyja, Sue asks her husband if he thinks she is really pregnant with Johnny's child. Reed tells her he isn't sure that humans and Skrulls can actually produce offspring together, but tells her that perhaps they can look into it further after they rescue Alicia. Meanwhile, in Central Park, the Thing meets with the Puppet Master to thank him for tipping them off to the fact that Alicia, who has been living among them, has been an imposter. Yes, it was last issue. It was the Puppet Master, who is Alicia's stepfather.
Yep.
Before departing, he tells Philip that they're going into space to rescue Alicia. Returning to his home, the Puppet Master reverts to type, blaming the Fantastic Four for his stepdaughter's kidnapping, and is happy that their mission to rescue her will also lead to the Fantastic Four's demise. However, the Puppet Master is suspicious of the Mad Thinker's think we missed a spot here, but the puppet, because the Mad Thinker wants them. The Puppet Master's like, yeah, I want him dead, but let's let him bring Alicia home first.
Right.
Because the Puppet Master takes over Cobra. The Cobra talks to Mad Thinker. He's like, hey, I know he has a plan to kill him, but I don't want to kill him yet. But make sure the Mad Thinker's goals and seeks to make sure that the Fantastic Four destruction happens only after Alicia's return to Earth safe and sound. Taking a puppet of King Cobra. Oh yeah, he's calling himself King now.
Oh, King Cobra. Yeah.
King Cobra, yes. Oh, we got to cover some of that Serpent Society stuff in Captain America.
Yeah. There's some of my favorite Captain America villains for sure.
Oh, so much cannon fodder. Yes.
Oh my god.
The Puppet Master takes control of the villain, who's also a prisoner at the vault in a cell across from the Mad Thinker. By the Puppet Master's command, the Cobra goes over to the bars of his cell and asks the Thinker what he is so smug about. The Thinker replies that telling him that he managed a practical joke on his old foe in his quest to destroy the Fantastic Four, and he fell for it. The Thinker is, of course, aware that the Puppet Master is controlling his fellow inmate and thinks about how rich his victory is, recalling how he previously broke into the factory that constructed the shielding for the spaceship that Rita's constructed and altered the plan so the shields will fall apart while his foes are in deep space. Back at Fort Freedom's Plaza, the Fantastic Four are about to leave when suddenly it's explained to Johnny that Lyja will be accompanying them. Hearing this and seeing Lyja in one of Sue's old Fantastic Four uniforms angers Johnny, who takes offense at the Skrull woman accompanying them. Reed orders Johnny to calm down, telling him that Lyja is their only means of knowing what they are up against in space, and they are making her wear the uniform so that they can differentiate her from other Skrulls. Lyja tries to appeal to Johnny, reminding him that he knows her better than anyone and knows that he can trust her. Johnny responds by telling her that he has never met her in his life and angrily boards the spaceship. After a quick call to JFK Airport to get flight clearance, the Fantastic Four head off into space. Their destination, the Andromeda Galaxy. If they want to differentiate Lyja from the other Skrulls, why don't they just make her shapeshift in the looking human? She doesn't have to be
right.
She doesn't have to be Alicia, but just be some random Earth woman.
Yeah.
Unless they're worried about a double cross, or I don't know.
They could make her look like Roberta.
Oh yeah. Light years away on the Skrull war world, a massive military planetoid is disguised as a barren world. Skrull technicians are busy experimenting on Pybok in order to turn him into another super Skrull. It is noted that the sessions are becoming less painful for him, but Pybok says the pain is worth being prepared for any contingency.
He likes it.
Oh yeah. The Fantastic Four soon arrive outside of War World, and with the help of Lyja's knowledge of the facility, they're able to land their ship within the hidden dreadnought without setting off alarms. However, as soon as they exit the ship, the Skrulls instantly recognize the intruders and the alarm is raised. The Fantastic Four fight back with the help of Lyja. Soon word reaches Pybok in security, and he is more than pleased that the Fantastic Four are here. He soon greets them by showing off one of his new abilities, the power to project ice. Using his electrical powers, Pybok forces Reed to flee into a nearby vent in order to continue searching for Alicia. Pybok then turns himself into organic steel and begins battling it out with the Thing. When Ben knocks Pybok down, he changes tactics and freezes Ben on the spot. Meanwhile, Reed gets the drop on some Skrulls in the monitor room and begins accessing the World mainframe to find out the location of Alicia. As the battle rages on, Pybok continues to gain the upper hand over the Thing, but Sue steps in with an invisible force field. But she is felled when Pybok blasts her with energy that can pass through the invisible force field and harm her. As Johnny battles other Skrulls, Pybok sneaks up behind him. Before Pybok can blast him from behind, Lyja calls out to him and dives in between them, taking the shot meant for Johnny. While Pybok gloating over killing this betrayer, he is distracted significantly enough for Ben to collapse an entire wall on the Skrull, burying him alive. Holding what appears to be the mortally wounded Lyja in his arms, Johnny tells her that he realizes that he does love her after all and believes her entire story. She then tells Johnny that there is no baby, and she said as much to try and force him to stay with her. She then apologizes for all the hurt she has caused with a final "I love you" seemingly dies in Johnny's arms.
Greg.
Suddenly, the self-destruct systems are activated, sounding an alarm that causes all the Skrulls to flee. This was set by Reed, who was also located at Alicia Master's location in the facility. Sue, Ben, and Johnny flee back to their ship, leaving Lyja behind. As the Skrull crew begin to flee, Piebald calls them cowards and begins lashing out at them with his new powers. Meanwhile, Reed finds the stasis chamber where Alicia is being kept and rushes her back to the ship. As Piebald curses the Fantastic Four, the group escapes with their mission accomplished. Making it safely away from World just as the planetoid explodes, the Fantastic Four narrowly avoid getting out of the blast radius. As they head back to Earth, as Alicia awakens, Johnny is the first one to her side, but once she becomes fully aware of her surroundings, it is Ben she calls out to and hugs, creating an awkward situation for everyone except Alicia, who has no idea how much time has passed or what has been going on in her absence. At that very moment, just as the mad thinker had timed it, the shielding on their ship suddenly breaks loose. While Reed assesses the damage and reports back that the lack of shielding is not a major issue. However, one of the broken pieces pierced their hyperdrive, damaging it beyond repair, leaving them stranded in space. All right, so lots of stuff there.
Yeah, this is quite an epic issue. And this was a double-sized one, I think, or maybe even triple-sized.
Yeah, because I remember it actually had like a spine, like a real spine on it. Yeah.
And it had like a die-cut cover, I think.
Yeah, because they had that 4 on the cover. Boy, when you opened it, yeah, the 4 was still there. Yeah.
That was a great issue. Yeah, I
Mhm.
remember picking that up when it came out. And see, I'd collected Fantastic Four pretty regularly up to that point, but I had missed a few issues before this one because I can't remember what it was. There were a few years in before this where Fantastic Four was just okay, in my opinion. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst either. But it wasn't the best. And then one of my friends bought this issue, and I read it. I was like, "Ooh, this is really good." And I had trusted Tom DeFalco with anything because, of course, I had read his work in Amazing Spider-Man and
Yes.
Thor. So I was
Oh,
like, "Oh, Tom DeFalco's on Fantastic Four. Cool, we're in good hands here." But then I saw the gorgeous artwork from Paul Ryan,
yes.
whose work I was also familiar with on Iron Man and Avengers West Coast. And I said, "Oh, this is a dream team right here. These two working on Fantastic Four." So then after that, I collected this regularly for years
Yeah, me too.
while they were on it. Yeah, I love this one.
Oh, that's another one we should cover, like the death and return of Reed Richards and Doctor Two.
Yes. The first time around. Yeah.
I think I read somewhere like if it hadn't been for Heroes Reborn, they were either going to keep Reed dead. I think they were talking about keeping Reed dead even longer.
I felt like they should have. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they
It-
just they had to bring him back for Heroes Reborn. So
yeah, because I think it was right before that. I think it was like 3 or 4 months before Heroes Reborn, if I remember right.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because if we do get that issue, we definitely have to cover that one day, like right before Heroes Reborn, where him and Namor slug it out.
It was slugfest. Stay away from my woman, Namor. I've had it. I've had it with your shenanigans. I've had it with your shenanigans and your damn ponytail.
I was dead for 5 minutes. We were trying to get my wife that mackerel.
I think he did. I think that
Wow.
while Reed was dead, that Sue got some strange from
Well,
Namor.
I mean, everyone was trying to get with Sue. I mean, was Scott Lang had like a crush on her too at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
the husband's been dead for 5 minutes. They're all like, "Oh, she's single
Yeah.
now." Yes.
I remember too, there was one issue, there was some smarmy guy from like her like neighborhood association that came over and was like, "Ooh, Susan Storm, I like your new costume." When she had the boob window.
Yes.
It's like, "I love the new costume, Susan." Where's your wedding ring, Susan?
That's it. I mean, they should have played that out more. But anytime all these guys like try to start hitting on the grieving widow, Ben should have just been like smacking him around.
Yeah.
Get away from her.
Get away from her.
Or even Johnny be like, "Get away from my sister."
Yeah, leave my sister alone. Yeah, Johnny was completely self-absorbed at that time though.
Oh yeah.
With his drama, his marriage problems.
Well, also too, yes. Again, spoilers, kids. Elijah returns, so.
Yes, she's not happy either.
And again, I mean, that was one of the points I had with this issue, where it's like, okay, you think she's dead, but again, she is a Skrull, so why don't you take her just in case you guys?
Yeah, why just leave
Just,
her on this?
just assume she was dead,
Yeah.
Better you take her, and it's like Reed says, okay, yeah, she is dead, then just hey, maybe she's alive.
Well, plus too, like that she's carrying her child. Like maybe there's a chance you could save the child. Like,
Although she did say to Johnny, "Oh no, there is no child, there is no baby." So I mean, I get
well,
that, but it's like, again, she's an alien. How do you know she's dead?
yeah,
Truly dead?
exactly. Yeah,
Because Piebok even said, she shapeshifted into that whatever that big alien thing.
that
She's
creature.
like a
Yeah,
nearly indestructible, whatever it was. It's like, well, maybe so maybe
nearly.
she could have survived the shot. I don't know.
Yeah, that's quite a nearly indestructible.
Except for me, I am Piebok.
Yeah, what did you think of Piebok, the Power Skrull?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, they try to do a new version of it. Wasn't bad. I mean, he returns also, kids. Yes, he was a new
Yes.
version of the Super Skrull.
Yeah, I liked how they gave him kind of X powers. Like the
Oh
Colossus
yeah,
or the Colossus form, and he had the Iceman powers and Storm's electrical blasts. He had those.
oh yeah, because he said that electrical blast with they came up with that, especially for Sue, because they could travel
Mhm.
along her invisible energy. Yeah,
Yeah, very smart. Yeah. Yeah, I liked him. It was cool. It was cool to see like a new version of the Super Skrull because I think we at that point in time, 30 years ago, I think we needed to see that. We needed some more super powered Skrulls in the
it's so funny. And it seems like the Skrulls, like, you're like, okay, who is the biggest ego in the room? You, sir. You will give you superpowers.
Yeah. This is
unless
an
they
alpha male society.
unless they just get a swollen head from those powers. I don't know, but I mean, this whole thing with like Elijah and Alicia, I'm just like, it's so messed up because it's like, I mean, they never call this out, but it's like, so literally, I mean, again, it's like Elijah eventually falls in love with Johnny and stuff, but it's like
Mm.
she raped him for how many years? Because he didn't know
Yeah,
who he
he
was.
didn't
I mean,
know.
he
Exactly.
wasn't
That was
consenting to sleeping with the
non-consensual.
Skrull. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
years of that. Yeah,
It's a little creepy. Yeah, it's a little
yeah.
creepy.
It wasn't
But
like,
but
oh,
uh, by
yeah.
and large, the Skrulls are kind of creepy to begin with. Just the way
Well,
that
yeah.
they get up to things. Yeah.
And not to bring this up after I said the creepy thing, but it's like, don't you think Skrulls would have to be excellent lovers since they can alter their anatomy?
Yeah.
Whether they're masquerading as a male or a female, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean,
The possibilities are pretty enticing.
you can make things as big or as small as you want, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or hell, they can look like anyone, including Rick Cosnitz. I mean, come on.
Oh, I know. Well,
Like,
there's a reason why Wiccan has such a big smile.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh. Oh.
If you know, you know, folks.
I know. But and again, too, like we were saying that for that previous issue, it's like, or that, yeah, the previous issue, it's like, Alicia was having issues just with the Annihilus thing. Now she's been, held in captivity and suspended animation for how many years?
For years, yeah, with no memory of what's happened to her, and then
Yeah,
all this stuff transpired while she was asleep.
yeah. It's like, oh yeah, basically, yeah, you've been asleep for years. Yeah, a Skrull took your place. Started dating Johnny. So yeah, Johnny knows exactly what you look like naked and what it's like to have
Mhm.
sex with you. So yeah, don't worry about that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she married him, and yeah, the whole 9 yards. Oh
Oh man, yeah, it's quite a
yeah, Ben moved on. He started dating Sharon Ventura. Yeah, that's over.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
and she comes back too.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I love the DeFalco Paul Ryan era of Fantastic Four. There's so much going on.
Yeah, we have to cover some of that older Fantastic Four too. I mean, with like Sharon Ventura, because always like that dynamic where it's like Ben gets cured, she's a thing now, so now he's on the other side of that equation.
Yes, that was cool. And
Mhm.
he had to wear like that thing suit for a while.
Yes, yes.
Remember that? Yeah. Those are strange times for the Fantastic Four, indeed.
That was always the weirdest thing when you see him standing there with the helmet off. It's like a thing body, Ben Grimm's head smoking a cigar or something.
Yeah.
Uh, which I'm trying to. Oh no, that wasn't the era. It was right after it. I was going to say what's coming up next because next week is June. So, but I think it was right after that where gets depowered. I think he still has powers in the. Spoiler, kids! It's the Evolutionary War.
Yes.
All right. All right, let's do the next issue. I just basically threw it on here just to wrap it up, so it's not like, oh yeah, they're
this
stuck
one.
in deep space.
It's a good one though. I love this.
Another guy who will come back.
Yes,
within
his
the
first appearance.
Yes, Fantastic Four 359 from December 1991, and yes, the title tell you this gentleman's name, Devos the Devastator, or Devos. I don't know. Yeah, Tom DeFalco, Paul Ryan. Yeah, it's basically the same team as last issue. With their hyperdrive damaged while rescuing Alicia Masters from the Skrulls, the Fantastic Four now find themselves stranded in space. Reed begins assessing the damage and has some grim news. The hyperdrive is damaged and it could take months or even years to even attempt to repair it. He tells his teammates that unless they are rescued, it will take them many lifetimes to return to Earth. Alicia confronts Ben with the fact that he has been avoiding her since her rescue from the Skrulls and demands to know why. Ben says that now isn't the time to talk about it as his scanners have picked up something big coming their way. Not far away, aboard a massive starship, is Devos the Devastator, whose sole mission in life is to create peace in the universe by destroying any race that is capable of war. We'll get peace, even though by the time I'm done, it'll just be like cavemen and animals left.
Yeah. In Paramecium. That's it.
Where am I at? Yeah. To hone his abilities and test out the weapons of his sophisticated armor, he hunts a number of winged creatures that he views as a threat to galactic peace. The battle was no contest, and the birds are slain with his weapons, their corpses swept up and disposed of by the ship's robots. He walks through his various trophies until he comes upon a specimen that he has contained in a cube, as he has yet to find a way to properly eliminate its threat. Suddenly, his ship's alarm alerts Devos of a ship in his vicinity. Deciding that a spacefaring race could be a threat to peace, Devos decides to investigate and, if necessary, exterminate all aboard with extreme prejudice. Soon, the Fantastic Four ship is caught in a tractor beam and pulled aboard the larger craft. Once safely aboard, the Fantastic Four and Alicia disembark from their vessel and begin searching for whoever is piloting the ship. As they are being observed by Devos, they walk through a series of scanners that let their apparent rescuer know all about them. Suddenly, trapdoors open beneath the group's feet, dropping each member in a separate containment sphere. Each member of the Fantastic Four are able to break themselves free using their powers, and then they free Alicia. They find themselves in some kind of room with various creatures from other worlds that have also been contained. Suddenly, they are confronted by a robot that tries to subdue them. But when Ben tries to fight it off, it only succeeds in smashing the containment spheres, unleashing the creatures held within. The Fantastic Four then have to fend off the various aliens that are now instinctively attacking them, while Sue uses her force field to defend herself from a plant that spits acid. Johnny's ability to fly at high velocities fights off a group of arachnids. While Reed is attacked by a creature that attaches itself to his back, he manages to get the creature off by turning himself into a sphere and bounding across around the room. When a group of the alien monsters tries to attack Alicia, Johnny swoops in, forgetting himself and calling her sweetheart in the process, using his flames to drive the creature back. He is hurt when Alicia asks Johnny where Ben is after he saved her life. Ben is still fighting with the robot, but manages to destroy it with his superior strength. With the battle over, the Fantastic Four regroup, but are suddenly attacked by Devos that makes his presence and his intentions known to them. He has decreed that they are a threat to galactic peace, and therefore the Fantastic Four must be destroyed. Although he had the advantage of surprise and manages to incapacitate Johnny, Devos is no match for the combined powers of the Fantastic Four, who easily disarm him. Finding himself outmatched, Devos flees the area to an adjacent room where he can tap into his ship's power grid and recharge his armor. Before he can fully charge himself, the FF break into the room and Reed knocks Devos directly into the power grid, overloading and heavily damaging his armor in an explosion. The explosion also sets off the ship's self-destruct systems. 2 issues in a row. I love their version of the fastball special. Reed just becomes a giant rubber ball. It's like, Ben!
Knocks him right into the grid, yeah.
I know. Devos then flees as his specimens are released, giving him cover to make it to the only escape pod, allowing him to flee. Before going, he activates a deadly gas that causes the alien creatures to dissolve. The fantastic. He Dutch oven them kids.
Yeah.
The
Ultra nasty.
Oh yeah, the Fantastic Four save themselves thanks to Sue's invisible force fields. Getting to the main controls, Sue holds her force field while Reed deciphers the controls and shuts off the deadly gas and disengages the self-destruct. Sue is upset that all the creatures were so mercilessly killed by Devos, but Reed points out that it is all for the better. They need the ship to return to Earth, and he is unsure what effect the creatures on board could have had on Earth's environment. As he says this, the Fantastic Four are unaware that the one creature that Devos was unable to find the means to destroy has been released from the cube containing it, revealing an egg within that is slowly beginning to crack. Which Ben and Johnny will contend with next issue.
Yes. I love that one too.
Yes.
Yeah, this whole string of issues is excellent stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If I just want my favorite issues, I'd be like, oh well, we're on one more.
Yeah.
But I love the line, when Johnny's fighting off the huge spiders. He's like, a Spider-Man would never let me live this down or something.
Yeah. That was cute.
And once
And
again,
I love too. Go ahead, Phil.
no, I was just gonna say, poor Alicia again. It's like as if she hasn't gone through enough. Now we're trying
traumatized again.
About to get killed in an alien space, another alien spaceship.
Yeah, surrounded by all these creatures, running for her life.
Which you can't even see. You're blind.
Yeah, but she can hear enough of it. I'm sure the sound of it all is got to be horrifying enough.
And
with the big plant thing and yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure the smells are the greatest too with all these alien creatures there.
Yeah, who knows what they smelled like? But being a huge Predator fan, I couldn't help but notice the similarities between the Predator from the films and the Dark Horse comics to Devos, and I thought, oh, I bet Devos is like an homage. And then of course the scene when he's walking past his trophy room, I was like, oh yeah, definitely they're channeling some Predator vibes here with this guy.
Nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it was like a decent issue. It's like, how we're gonna get home, and once again, another threat to which we do get we do get like kind of like a new frightful four because it's Power Skrull, this guy,
Huntara.
Oh yeah,
and Claw.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was some good stuff. Yeah, we'll eventually have to cover all that. I would love that. Yeah. This issue was great. It was they introduced a lot of great new villains during this time period, and Devos was one of them. The villain that comes next is another one, and these are villains that came back. Like they reuse them. They weren't just one and done villains that they needed to fill in an issue with and then be done with them forever. Tom DeFalco was always good for that. He was always good at making new villains and then having them come back later and having it make sense and not just be something that seemed to be contrived just for the sake of it.
You could really tell with this guy because he was basically shaking his fist out on his way out the door. I'll meet you next time.
Yeah, I would have gotten away with it too. I did think it was kind of weird how he was defeated, like having this open grid to all of this this massive power source like just a few feet behind him, so that if he slipped on a banana peel or something and stumbled into it, that would be the end of him. I thought that was kind of silly.
I know things like the hood's up. Let's like smack him against the car battery. Yeah,
Right. He's holding on to those bars for dear life. I thought that was kind of silly. And also, like Reed's comment about, like, I thought it was weird how they couldn't save any of those creatures, like with Sue's force field. Like, you can't, come on, Sue, you can't open that force field up a little bit and save some of those creatures. Maybe it's just because I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and
oh
they
yeah.
managed to save all those animals. So why couldn't they save the animals on this ship too?
I mean,
it's the Fantastic Four.
unless you're worried about those animals, are they going to attack you if you let them in your
Right,
force field or
yeah.
whatever? Because I mean, she was even straining just to keep it around them. So
No, I know, yeah,
yeah, I kind of bought that, but
yeah. And Reed could have found a new home for all those creatures. I mean, that whole excuse about, oh, we'd let them loose on Earth, and then, well, you don't have to let them loose on Earth. I mean, you're in deep space. You can find a place to put them.
yeah, the one thing about the DeFalco run that I kind of felt was lacking was just like we really don't explore Alicia's trauma too much more
Yeah.
beyond that. Oh, Ben, no, why don't you want to get back together? It's like,
Yeah.
again, she experienced a lot of trauma before she was even kidnapped by the Skrull. So it's
I think maybe in subsequent issues they might talk about it a little bit, but it isn't addressed a whole lot. No.
no,
And it should have been. Yeah. I think they spend more time talking about Johnny's feelings than they do about hers.
exactly. But
I can't believe I was lied to for all these years.
because Lyja comes back too. That's another scene we should have had. We should have had a big confrontation between Alicia and Lyja, basically.
Yeah, Lyja the Laser Fist is what she'll be
Yes.
next time. The Laser Fist. Yeah. Yeah, some good stuff. And that one has another special cover. Remember that one, Phil?
Oh, which
The
one?
embossed, the all white embossed.
Oh yeah.
When Johnny goes supernova.
371, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was white, and then like I think they did a
And then it
second
was
printing.
red.
It was red, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they
Yes.
did two of them. Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh
love
yeah.
that one too.
I think are we gonna do something? Are we gonna do that or something around there? Because I think we have
I
more.
think so. I think
Yeah.
towards the end of the year we're doing some more of these, and I think that's in the list. I think, or maybe it's just the ones after these, like directly after these ones we just did.
I don't think, but yeah, I'm gonna look at the schedule here. But yeah, there's some good stuff. I was gonna say, what cover are you talking about? 375, the shiny one.
Oh yeah,
Where they're all holding big guns and wearing
they've all
vests
got big
pouches.
guns and jackets and
Vests with pouches. Yes.
yeah, it's the most '90s Fantastic Four cover that there ever was.
I know. Big guns, boob windows, pouches. Oh yeah, easily the most '90s Fantastic Four cover.
Totally.
Let's see. Oh yeah, towards the end of November here. Oh yeah, Fantastic Four 371 through 375. We're covering that towards the end of the year.
Yes.
371. Yeah, we're gonna cover that one with the embossed cover.
Nice.
Poor Empire State University.
Oh man. Time to call in Code Blue.
Oh yeah, and we're also gonna get to the Fantastic Four versus New Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Love it.
Ben Grimm gets his face messed up.
Yeah. Silver Sable and the Wild Pack, I think, is in there too. Is that right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Which we're gonna get to some Silver Sable issues here.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. We'll start out with that solo series.
Oh yeah, towards the end of the summer. Yeah, we're gonna get to some Silver. Yeah, like 2 weeks of Silver Sable and the Wild Pack. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's one of my favorite 90s comics. I loved that comic book. I still do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I had a shiny #1 cover too.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. That's a great issue. I mean, a lot of people don't really realize that series is pretty fantastic.
A lot of people like poo-poo on the '90s in general, but again, it's just like any era. There's some gems and there's some crap,
Exactly. Yeah. And we definitely covered some gems tonight. Yeah, I love these Fantastic Four issues so much. These are like definitely in my top 10 tier. this whole run of Fantastic Four is just so good on so many levels.
Oh yeah. Again, we'll have to cover more Byrne stuff, some Tom DeFalco stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's. I mean, again, hopefully the MCU gives us some Fantastic Four soon, so we'll have an excuse to do like
a whole month or
a
something.
month or
Yeah,
more of Fantastic
yeah.
Four. Yeah.
I would love that. Yeah. Well, I think they're working on it now, aren't they? It's in production, right? The movie, or maybe
They're
pre.
talking about possible casting. I saw like what is that? I think they had a few front runners, but didn't they say it was Adam Driver like the front runner from Reed Richards maybe?
I heard that rumor. I don't
Oh, and then they were
necessarily
saying
believe it.
maybe what's her face? Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie might is in the running for Sue maybe.
Oh no, I don't
I
believe
know.
that at all. No. No, I'm an old pro when it comes to these red herring casting rumors because of being a long-standing Doctor Who fan. Every time there's a new Doctor Who actor, they throw out all of these names. Oh, so and so is rumored to be the new Doctor Who actor. Yeah, right. Cool. You want a bridge that you're gonna sell me next? Got a
I
bridge
know.
over there?
Sometimes I think it's like, oh hey, Margot Robbie's in the running, and who put out that rumor? Oh, Margot Robbie.
Source Margot Robbie's Twitter.
That's like
Yeah.
a cool Hollywood way of saying, hey, I went to park.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm available.
But no, we mentioned like good and crap from the 90s. It just reminded me because I shared this with Will the other week. I was on Twitter the one night and all right, Fabian Nisa was maybe one of the best comebacks of all time because I saw he like retweeted this woman who tweeted, have you experienced a natural disaster firsthand? And Fabian goes, all right, hold on, I gotta get my okay. Have you experienced a natural disaster firsthand? Fabian writes, I wrote NFL Super Pro. Does that count? That is the best self-deprecation
Oh my
I've
god, I
ever
love
seen.
that. Super Pro, yes.
Yes, NFL Super Pro.
Oh my god,
A
so
book
funny.
so bad. Even a young Phil in the 90s looked at it and went, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah, no.
Even with
Yeah.
Spider-Man on the for cover number 1, I was like, nah, it's okay.
Yeah. I passed that one up too, and I think didn't that have Ron Friends on the artwork?
I think so,
I
yeah.
I
Yeah.
looked at it because I love Ron Friends. I was like, ooh,
I remember like a year or two ago, I was like, I wonder if I could buy some like cheap back issues of it just to, if nothing else, we could poo-poo on it on an
yeah,
episode or something. But I
dollar bin
mean,
issues or something. Yeah.
I remember looking on eBay, they wanted like so much for that thing, maybe just because there aren't a lot of back issues floating around out there. But I'm like, I'm not paying like an arm and a leg for crap,
No, that's definitely a dollar bin investment.
I mean, yeah, unless we sail the high seas for this. I was gonna say that might be a April Fool's episode
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
something. I mean,
Yeah, those aren't on the app, are they? Yeah, we'll have
no,
to find another way to
because that's not on the app because I'm sure they probably share rights with the NFL or something.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be very complicated, that whole deal.
Yeah, it's probably like another DC crossover with DC.
Mm.
Yeah, those rights are gonna be tied up, and
Yeah, they don't wanna touch that yet.
because we could probably nail that in one episode. 'Cause I think it was like 12 issues or something.
Was it only 12?
I
Yeah,
forget. It was like, well, I think it might have been 12, and then like they might have had like one or two one shots or something.
or an annual or something, yeah.
Yeah,
I
something
can't
like that.
remember.
I think like I said, Spider-Man was in the first one. I think Captain America showed up in an issue. I remember seeing the covers. I never read it, but
Yeah, I remember seeing the covers a lot. Yeah, they were on the spinner racks, and I was
uh,
like, "Oh, I wanted to check it out because of Ron Friends and, of course, Fabian, but I was like, "I can't. I just can't."
12 issues and one special.
Oh.
And it was around some of these Fantastic Four issues because it said 1991 to 1992. NFL Super Pro. For those of you who never heard of it, NFL was a short-lived comic book. NFL Super Pro is a short-lived comic book series published by Marvel, centered on Phil Grayfield, an ex-national football player who survived a freak accident and wears a near indestructible football uniform. Produced in collaboration with the NFL and originally written by Fabian Nicieza and artist Jose Delbo, the series started publication in 1991 and ended after 12 issues.
Yeah, it looks like Ron Friends just did the covers. He didn't even do the
Maybe.
interior artwork. Yeah.
And
Captain America's in issue number 8.
An indestructible football uniform. Oh my!
It was a one-off too. They never made any more of them. You notice? The indestructible football uniform.
NFL Super Pro has been called one of the worst comics in recent Marvel Comics history, becoming a cult object.
Yeah, I'm surprised by how much these individual issues are going for of this. The
I
last
know,
issue was
that's
going for
insane.
$18. I was like, oh my word, wow.
Individual or all 12 as a whole. Yeah, they want too much for these things.
Yeah.
Again, maybe the print run was low or something, or it just
Or
a
just
lot
the
of them might have been
novelty of it.
destroyed or lost in,
Yeah.
Oh, well, Nicieza left Super Pro after 4 issues and was replaced with Buzz Dixon.
Oh.
And then Dixon left Super Pro after 3 issues. That's the problem, man. Those writers could only do 3 or 4 at a time. They're like, nah, we're out.
And then Evan Skolnick was the writer. Paula Foy. Like, they had all kinds of writers here.
12 issues, and they had, what, at least 4 writers?
Yeah. And a bunch of different artists. Jose Delbo and then Herb Trimpe.
Oh, nobody can get through this thing.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're going to have to cover this for April Fools, I think.
Yeah, we should.
In 2005, the Chicago Sports Review called it perhaps the worst comic book ever created. Damn.
Look at the cover for number 11.
All right, hold on. I got to look this up. Super Pro number 11. Is it worse than Frank Miller for Wolverine cover?
Oh, no, it's not that bad.
Oh. Chronos B-ball. Oh.
He can do it all, football and basketball.
So the Michael Jordan of the Marvel Universe.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They were pulling out all the stops towards the end. Oh yes, we now that you brought it up, we have to take a moment to address that Frank Miller cover.
Oh yes, because Russell did bring that to me and Lilith's attention. So Salty and Petty episode 22, you'll get our live reaction to that. But I mean, what the hell?
That's really all you can say. Yeah.
He is an older gentleman. Is that like arthritis kicking in or what? I mean,
or like nearsightedness, or like
his art is going the way of his writing, like off the scale as it's older. And I'm sorry, but
yeah, that was so bad. I don't really have the words for it, unfortunately. But
the other reason he's getting away with it is he's Frank Miller.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if that was a newcomer, they would not put that out.
Yeah. Or a 7-year-old.
Well, I think some 7-year-olds could do better, but that's my opinion. But ain't none of my business. Oh my God! So, is he writing that too? Because it's like a Ghost Rider Wolverine story, right?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I don't know if he's writing it or just doing the covers.
Oh man, we would have to do some kind of special, like you, me, Lilith, whoever. On if it's written by Frank Miller, oh my God, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and
your mother's a whore.
I'm here for it. The art aside, I'm here for it now. I am the spirit. I am the spirit of vengeance, and
your mother's a whore.
Boy, that penance thing looks differently in this Frank Miller story.
And if the art looks like that, then man. I might have to get drunk for that one.
A Wolverine 150 years ago.
Your mother's a whore!
Uh, secret history of Wolverine's whole family.
The whole family.
That's right.
Oh, I'm here for it now, Frank Miller.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on that new miniseries or whatever it is.
That's your secret. That's your secret invasion. Half the heroes' mothers were whores.
Your mother's a whore!
Well, yeah, it's Frank Miller. They're all whores. Happy Mother's Day, kids.
They're all ones. They're all up for their legs too much.
Oh my! I can't remember what episode me and Lil, it's during Miller May. I'm like, what woman heard Frank Miller that, every story
I
he's written is
know.
basically like, yeah, women are like murderous whores and stuff,
I'd like to go back in time and find out.
They're either drug addicts, prostitutes, killers, any combination of the above.
I know. Somebody hurt him. Somebody scarred him bad. Yep. To hold on to that for that long.
Oh, that level of petty, even I can't achieve that.
Yeah. Oh man. It's wild stuff.
Can you imagine holding on to that for anybody? I was 16 years old and she was a whore.
Your mother's a whore!
I was 16. She was 55.
Oh! If we were about to get intimate, she had to take her teeth out. We called her Gummy Mary. It was in the middle of lovemaking with this old bag of bones that I came up with the idea for Sin City.
So yeah. Hearing all that moist slapping.
The monologue came right to me.
Your mother's a whore!
Your whole family can suck it.
With 2 lines, the first issue was born.
Lubricated heels are the best.
I wonder if my wrist is ready for that.
I wonder if my wrist is ready for that.
Well, don't watch the last couple episodes of The Flash, Justin.
Oh, yes.
They're causing it, yes.
Oh, man. I can't wait to see that face again.
Oh, my.
Yep. It's going to be good stuff.
Uh,
My favorite biscuit. That's right.
After all this Frank Miller talk.
Well, that escalated.
I love how we were pretty professional with the Fantastic Four stuff. Then we just straight into NFL Super Pro, Frank Miller.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Well, I had to bring up that cover at least once. I couldn't
Oh,
let that
yeah.
go.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
I couldn't let that go. I just couldn't.
It's like, what's up with that face?
Yeah, and the knuckles. Like, he looks like he's been banging on a door for a while.
I saw someone online say that is the worst Wolverine I've seen since the 90s, and that's when he didn't have a nose. That was full bestial bone claw Wolverine.
Your bone claws, yeah.
Oh, we got to cover that when he gets the adamantium ripped out. Yeah.
With the hologram cover.
And then gets it put back in. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Rip
let
that
that
stuff
they
out.
let that run for a few years. Him with just
They
the bone
did.
claw.
Yeah. So bone claws. Gosh.
All right, Justin. Anything else?
No, I think we covered about all the good stuff with these.
Fantastic.
I'm happy you picked these. Yeah.
Yes. And again, kids, yes. Hope maybe we'll see some familiar themes in Secret Invasion. So
definitely. Yeah. Send in your thoughts about this, about anything to do with the Fantastic Four, especially since we'll be revisiting them later on in the year.
Exactly. And again, they send in some requests.
Hmm.
Even though we
Yeah.
got it pretty planned out, but I was gonna say we'll try to squeeze a request in.
Yeah, we've got some room to put in some other stuff.
That's what they all say, according to Frank Miller.
they can fit some more in there.
All right. But next time, kids, hey, do you love that High Evolutionary and that new movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, kids? Yeah, see? Next week, we start our month-long Evolutionary War for June.
The big epic begins.
I forgot. I thought there were so many more issues, but I mean, pretty much we're going to just be doing 2 annuals per episode, except for there's 5 episodes. The last one will have 3 annuals, but all the other ones will only have 2. So I was afraid it was another crossing. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be like 6 for each time now.
Yeah, this will be great because those annuals are pretty big too. This is before they loaded up the annuals with a lot of like B and C features.
Yeah.
Like the main story really took up the majority of the annual back then.
Yeah, that didn't we get like wasn't there a backup run through them all with the High Evolutionary?
Yeah, it was his origin story.
Yeah,
with some great early Mark Bagley artwork on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was the only extra feature in a lot of these annuals. I think most of them. There was a backup in the X-Men one, which was the X-Babies.
Yeah. I mean, I
and a
guess
couple of other things.
Guess we'll find out. Yeah, because it's been a while since I read these. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It's been quite a bit, but I'm excited.
All right. So here's the order, kids. Next week we'll start it off with X Factor Annual 3 and the Punisher Annual 1.
Very different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then week 2, the Silver Surfer Annual 1 and New Mutants Annual 4. Week 3, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 22 and Fantastic Four Annual 21. Week 4, X-Men Annual 12 and Web of Spider-Man Annual 4. And like I said, we'll wrap up. Week 5 will be 3, West Coast Avengers Annual 3. Wait a minute. Maybe that's Spectacular Spider-Man.
I think it's Spectacular, yeah.
Spectacular Spider-Man Annual 8 and Avengers Annual 17. Oh, are we going to throw in that what if issue in there?
The what if issue. Yes. Yeah, we should do that on the last one too, definitely.
So yeah, kids, the last of the week will be West Coast Avengers Annual 3, Web of Spider-Man 8. Spectacular Spider-Man Annual 8, Avengers Annual 17, and we're going to do What If Volume 2 Number 1. What if they lost the Evolutionary War, kids? So
yeah.
So we're going to give you a little bonus there. And again, like me and Justin were talking, we're going to try to anytime there's a what if issue that we cover a storyline where there's a what if issue, we'll try to squeeze that what if issue in there too. So
yeah, we both really love those what if issues, and
oh yeah,
I think it would be fun to add those in, especially when it comes to these big crossover stories like that.
Because that got me thinking too. Maybe sometime next year, I don't know if we could do like maybe if we could squeeze in a month or just a few weeks, do some old Marvel stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
And then we can cover the what if issue, or what if he had lived.
Yes. I just started reading that original Captain Marvel omnibus.
Oh, nice.
It just got recently. So I've been reading those original stories from the 60s, and they're so good. Oh, man.
Oh yeah, wait until you get to this. Yeah, he's bonded with Rick Jones, and then there's a big storyline with a little known character named Thanos.
Yes. A little minor supporting character happens along.
I know. Imagine back in the day, like in the 90s. Do you ever think like the whole world would know who Thanos was?
Yeah, I remember when he came back in the Silver Surfer, I was thinking, yeah, this is a big deal, but I wasn't thinking it was going to be that big of a deal, like to involve the rest of the Marvel universe, like as it did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that.
Should we do that sometime too? Cover the Infinity Trilogy?
We should. I don't know. The Gauntlet, Infinity Gauntlet, yeah. Infinity War and Crusade. Especially the Crusade, the one with the goddess. Oh God, that's painful. But
Oh, I know.
yeah, we could do it eventually.
We'll mull
We're
it
gonna have to
over.
space it out.
We'll mull it
We'll have to
over.
space it
Yeah.
out. Yeah, we'll space it out.
Oh, we could do a whole Crusade month and throw all the tie-ins in there.
Oh man,
Oh Lord.
I think that would take more than a month. That'd be like 2 months.
I don't know if I can handle 2 months.
Yeah,
It'll be another crossing month.
I know. Now, Operation Galactic Storm, I'd be up for covering all that.
Oh yeah. We did it on the Quantum Zone, but yeah, that I'd be willing to go back to that. Yeah, that was what 8? Was that 18 parts or something?
Yeah,
18 or
18 or
19.
19. Yeah, it was a long
Yeah.
one, but
So we'd have to
I
do
love that
a
one.
few every week. Yeah, but that
Yeah.
would give us an excuse to cover some of those Wonder Man issues again. Quasar,
Quasar, definitely.
Avengers,
Avengers issues are
Post,
great. Yeah.
Iron Man,
Thor.
the Falco Thor. Yeah.
Yeah. Some good stuff
Grunwald
in there.
Captain America.
Including the big issue 400, wasn't it?
Yes.
The big, huge one. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's another one. We got to do a bunch of Grunwald to Captain America.
Yes. Well, we're going to do a whole month of Captain America next year for the release of the new movie, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
The New World Order coming out. I think, was it July or May something? I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the first half of the year.
Did I also see they were talking about like maybe changing the name of that or something?
Oh, were they? Oh, okay.
What's a rumor? I don't know if it's true, but supposedly they were thinking about a new title or something. I don't know if there's New World Order comes out. Yeah, it's May 3rd, of course, May 3rd.
Oh, May 3rd. So. Oh, right. Okay. The title should be Follow the Leader.
Nice. I mean, Bruce Banner has to show up, doesn't he? I mean, Thunderbolt Ross is in it. I see Liv Tyler as Betty Ross is in the,
Yeah, it's got everybody except for Bruce. It's so funny.
In it. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. I think we'll discover what Bruce has been up to pretty quickly. I think it'll all make sense after too long. I think he's far away doing other things right now.
Well, at the end of She-Hulk, he came back to Earth with his son, remember?
Oh,
Scar.
Yeah. He's got some explaining to do.
All right, kids. So send us all your thoughts. Next week, we start the Evolutionary War. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, the Patreon. Join the Patreon Elite like our friend Justin here.
Yes, join me in the Patreon Elite. You get all the perks, all the good stuff. You'll be able to hear all the uncensored talk about Heroes Reborn.
With myself
coming up soon.
Very drunken Lilith Hellfire. Completely uncensored. A uncensored, completely drunk Lilith Hellfire, kids. That's worth the price of admission alone.
Absolutely.
I don't care what the topic is, but it's Heroes Reborn. So
I know that's going to put me out of my chair when I listen to that.
The story's a whole
Your whole family can suck it.
So find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. All right, Justin, you're here every week. You join me on We Are the Night, the Batman podcast, once a month to discuss Jean-Paul Valley and his various adventures, but also you're also talking more Marvel. So tell the people about that.
Yeah, over at Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, me and Russell talk about the Hulk and She-Hulk related stuff twice a month. We also have Patreon bonus episodes if anybody's interested in joining our Patreon. And also, Russell and I co-host with our good pal Ray, Predator and Prey, a Yocha podcast, which we cover everything to do with the Predator in comics, film, and action figures and more. And I'm going to have to bring up Devos the Devastator to them. and see
Oh,
if they
yeah.
remember him from back in the day, a predator influenced villain. We'll have to talk about him on the show sometime. Yeah. The Lost Library of Legends is my other project, and that is coming out before too long. I have a concert coming up, and hopefully after that I'll have some time to finish off the first episode of that. It's almost done.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Giant sized man thing. Superior puss. Scream at! I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod.
And I say it over and over, kids. I mean, it's the Roll Call 2.0 here. All right. Thank you for joining us again. In 1 week, the war starts, the Evolutionary War. And again, backups with the High Evolutionaries' origin. So if you saw that movie and you want to know all about the High Evolutionaries, tune in next week and the next 5 weeks.
Yes, the epic story begins here.
And if you're a fan of any character who appeared in Marvel in the 90s or the late 80s, early 90s, yeah, they're probably in this story. So
Yes. Most of them are in there, even the Punisher.
don't trust those Skrulls.